Congratulations, sir, for that significant win. Now, the concern right now is whether the transformation of the ruling PAP will continue.
Well, from the last election, we looked at what happened, what were the lessons to be learned, what we could do to improve the way we govern, the way we led, and I think the way we walk the journey with our people. I think we put that in place. Still work in progress. I mean, we put in a lot of effort. And I think even with these elections, I mean, while the self-support has been quite overwhelming, but it's important for us to also take stock. What went well, what we did right, what are things that people were looking towards that they endorsed, and we should keep at it.
So what went right, you think? Was it the 4 years, the last 4 years, when the government tried to address the concerns of Singaporeans, like foreign workers, for instance?
Some of these issues actually started even before GE 2011. I think GE 2011 indicated to us quite clearly that indeed they were pressing issues. So we kept at some of the changes that were being put in place. Tightening of manpower started pre-11. HDB sort of crunch in the housing sort of scene, something we also aggressively addressed. Transport remains an issue. But it takes time, but slowly it's coming online in a significant way. And I think as we go towards the next couple of years, towards the 2020s, you see a much denser network. So we will keep at it, but that's in terms of the physical sort of policies in place. The other one really is in terms of our outreach, the way we engage, the way we communicate. That is something that's important. We're putting a lot of effort on that front. We need to keep at it.
Despite the landslide victory, Singaporeans still want more checks and balances. It's been a one-party system for a very long time with very few representation of the opposition in Parliament. Will that change? Do you see that happening? And how will the current government, well, the new government, the next government, address such issues?
It's a very natural desire. In fact, fully understand it. In fact, if you ask me, is it important to have a good opposition? I think so. I've said it many times. It's always useful because from a checks and balance perspective, having competition is always good. So the question is degree, and the question is also credibility of the opposition. But that's something that for people, people have to decide every 4 or 5 years during the elections in terms of endorsing your mandate, in terms of selecting alternatives who may be credible and who they would like to see in Parliament providing that check. So I think the need for opposition and the desire amongst people remains there. But for us, it's focus on what we can do to strengthen ourselves, to make sure that we serve our people better. And of course, the opposition likewise would have to do their own review as well.
What will be the government's priority? You've been identified by the Prime Minister as one of the leaders that will be key to the next government. What, in your view, is a key issue that needs addressing straight away?
Early days yet, but actually we have been reviewing the issues and areas of concern even prior to the GE. The GE is one point in time. You can't really start taking stock of issues only when the GE arises. We've been constantly tracking what are the concerns that were highlighted from the last election, began addressing it. How have we been addressing it? Has it been successful? Have we been able to ameliorate the concerns? Some things there are key trade-offs that there are no easy solutions. But I think the key thing really is going forward. How do we stay relevant? It's critical because demographically we're changing and we need to stay ahead of the game. So how do we transform ourselves on that front, whether economically, socially? That's something that's ongoing, whether there's a general election or not.